Welcome back inside the shoe for the Bears Sports Network. Aaron Cox alongside Bears head coach Everick Sullivan. Coach, let's just jump right to the end. Obviously, a tough loss for you guys in what was just a frenetic game right from the get-go, back and forth. It was a fast-paced game. What are your feelings in the immediate aftermath?
Disappointed. We didn't come out with the win. Guys gave great effort. And, that's Newberry, That's Pressberry. That's what they do. That's who they are. They come in waves, rhythm, a team of runs. They got into a point where I think they got into our legs with their pressure. And then it becomes about, can we make the right decisions at the right time? We make some poor decisions. But with all that being said, we got a chance to possibly win the game, go up, I think, by maybe 4 at the free throw line with a 1-and-1, and we miss it. They come down, get a layup, and take it into overtime. So that's, those are the learning moments. That's the maturation that you go through with a team as you try to continue to win, to prepare for a long year. But that was one we let go.
Well, as you mentioned, hopefully a learning moment in the long run. You guys led by as much as 20 in the second half. The three-point shooting especially was good early on. When it came down to the end, do you feel like you guys started to get a little bit tired with all of that pressure?
No thought. They were definitely tired. We were not very deep, as you know. You've seen a lot of our games, especially in a lot of different areas. We don't have a lot of guards, so they play a lot of heavy minutes. Reed, Lucas, Jalen, Darian cramped up toward the end and wasn't able to go. It just wore on us, and that's what they do. I mean, they've done it from year. This is not the first time some of our returners have seen it. I think they went into 2 overtime games last year, or overtime game last year, and it's just a style that it just comes in waves, and it can get into your legs. And three-point shooters, the first thing, when your legs go, sometimes your shot go, and so we weren't able to capitalize on some open looks that we got, but then we made some poor decisions versus the pressure would allow them to get back in. And we did a bad job. Our defense faltered too. We allowed them to hit some open threes, and they made 3 or 4 consecutive.
Well, you mentioned your defense. In the first half, 24 points, which is a crazy low number for Newberry. Yeah. Now, you knew at some point they were going to go on a run. That was inevitable. But what was working right in the first half that maybe didn't work right for you in the second half?
It really just boiled down to energy and effort. When the energy level, when it just it is hard to probably explain. I hadn't played ball in years, so I can only imagine what they're going through. But you've played that many minutes that hard and getting trapped and pressed and it's just hard to sustain the level that you need to be at. And so the first half we give them a punch, all right, and then the next half they come back and they counter punch, and they end up getting themselves back into the game down the closing moments. They miss a 3 or 2, maybe the game goes the other way, but they made the shots because that's how they practice and that's who they are.
Now, obviously, you're in the immediate aftermath here, so it's tough to tell. But what is the solution then? When you mentioned you're a little bit of a short team and a team that relies a lot on the three, so in the future you get in another game like this where your guys are getting tired. What's the solution then? How do you keep your guys scoring and keep the turnovers from happening?
First off, nobody plays in the league like Newberry, so we won't be
okay, fair enough.
This frenetic at this pace. But we talk about win the game at the free throw line. So we did everything to put ourselves in a position to win the game. We have to win the game at the free throw line. That's the first point. The second point is we got to get guys who are not comfortable handling the ball, making decisions at those moments in the game when we have no other alternatives. They have to step up and be playmakers. And we putting the ball in guys like Jock and Ben and guys who are just they haven't done it. That's not what they're supposed to do in terms. But in those situations, we don't have another choice because Darian's cramped up. We're playing Branford a ton of minutes. Jalen has probably played 40 minutes. Who else other than Reed who's probably played 40 minutes? Those are our options, and those are it. So you got to grit it out. You got to find a way to win. Sometimes it's a lucky bounce. Sometimes it's making free throws. Sometimes they miss some shots that they were supposed to make, and you come away with the victory. But it's always moments and areas that we can improve. We understand that. Sometimes it becomes a personnel issue more than about trying to make scheme adjustments.
Gotcha. Well, let's end on a positive note. Reed Lucas having a monster night here tonight, especially from the three-point arc. And you mentioned Varice playing a truckload of minutes and really very few turnovers, passing out a lot of assists. He ended up in double figures as well. 2 guys that you're going to have to rely on this year, and they had great games.
Yeah, and Jalen's coming off an ankle injury. So it was a gutsy performance from all of our guys, but those 2 in particular, we count on them. They play heavy minutes. They're competitors. They're whatever guys, whatever you need, coach. And they're a little disappointed by not being able to pull this one out, especially at home in front of our fans. But we hope that will not deter us. We will not be, mentally blocked from getting ready to win this next game. And that's the mentality is. You put that one behind it. It's a conference that's very competitive. This is the same team that beat Lincoln Memorial before the break and hit 23. So we know they're capable of the things that they showed us tonight. We just had a position to close it. It was on our terms, and we didn't finish it.
Coach Everick Sullivan after a tough loss in overtime tonight. Thanks for the time, Coach.
Thank you.
That'll be it for our broadcast this evening. Our next broadcast coming up. That's what you get for not being prepared. Here in just a couple of weeks, our next broadcast of LR Hoops here on the Bears Sports Network will be on January 14th, a doubleheader with the women starting at 2 and the men at 4. Until then, I'm Aaron Cox. Thanks for everybody else helping me out tonight. This has been a production of the Bears Sports Network.